I immediately pick up my poi because that's what I always do. I should put them down because we should start with a quick warm up that will also act as a little bit of review. You should always try to warm up a little bit before you spin poi because there are so many people in the circus arts and in the flow arts that really, really get into it. And this is something where you don't want to create any sort of repetitive strain. So it's good to warm up a little bit at home before. We'll do a brief little warm up and review at the same time right now. So we're going to start off. Last week, we did timing and direction. And that combines together time and split time, which are, when your hands are moving at the same time or if they're moving 180 degrees from each other. And we covered the same direction, where they're moving the same direction, no matter the timing, and opposite direction, where the circles are going in different directions. So a light little warm-up. We want to start off with a together same wall spin with just our arms. You can have your poi down. And, this is a great little thing. You can kind of go tick-tock back and forth, pretend you're in, here, let the sun shine. And, bring a little spring into the air and then let it go a couple times. Let your whole body go. You can't see it right now, but I'm using my knees, swaying back and forth in reverse. And this sort of warm-up is going to help you to kind of internalize, build that muscle memory with what the differences between these are. So then we're going to go into split same in the wheel plane. So it's split time. Your hands they can start 180 degrees apart, but they go the same direction. So this is really like swimming. And one of the things that you want to do when you're doing this is when you're turning from one side to another, don't be afraid to turn your trunk. My feet I'll show you my feet a little bit more. My feet are kind of planted right now. My knees are bent. What I can do with this is I can use my trunk and get full extension. If I wasn't turning my trunk, I could still do this and swim straight in a line, but I'm really rotating my shoulder a lot. If you want to get a really good extension, use your trunk and turn your trunk as you go, one side and the other side. And you're going to show a really big wingspan. I don't know if you guys can see my cat in the corner of the window there, but he's looking out. He's like, Dad's got a really big wingspan. He's a big bird. So make sure to try to get a lot of rotation if you want to be big. You can do things that are little. You don't always have to reach out, but if you're going to go for big stuff, turn and use that space between your shoulders as part of your wingspan. And it's also good for your shoulders. It's also good for your core to get a lot of work in, but that's why we want to also warm up everything. Together opposite in the wheel plane, that is when we are going to be together opposite. See, sometimes I have to think this through myself. So you are going to be going, do your wingspan, and then everything together. This is the butterfly. And then wingspan, and then down. Wingspan up, wingspan down. So you'll notice that this is very different than when we have one arm up and one arm down, and they're never crossing, versus cross at the top, cross at the bottom, cross at the top, cross at the bottom. So you still want to use that full wingspan that you have. Rotate your trunk as you do this, as you warm up, and do it in both directions. Use your legs, feel it, move with it, let your whole body, let this energy move through your body. That's going to be really impactful when you're not just in your mind thinking about these things. And then let's turn back to the wall plane, and let's do a little bit of double dutch, where we reach to one side. You can even clap if you want, or you can imagine that you've got double dutch jump ropes. And then go the other direction as well. And hopefully your shoulders, your torso, your legs, they're feeling a little more limber now. So what we did there is we incorporated timing and direction, which I talked about. We also incorporated two of the three planes. We talked about wheel plane, which is at the side of your body, and wall plane, which is at the front of your body. We also have floor plane, which is kind of a, if you could imagine a table that you were putting paper on, that would be floor plane. So last time, or in the previous lessons, we've also talked about momentum. I'm going to pick up the poi when I talk about momentum a little bit. We talked about no momentum, which is a stall, periodic momentum, which is a pendulum, and we talked about circles, which are continuous momentum. Now, instead of talking about momentum, that was really, really, I think, good to start off with, but these three are also called driving styles. And what happens, kind of the universal grammar of poi, and this is where a lot of, I mentioned the Vulcan Tech Gospel before, so a lot of where the Vulcan Tech Gospel gets into play, is you're combining different timing and directions with different driving styles, something like circles or stalls or pendulums, and you can combine them in different sorts of ways, and there are other driving styles as well, in all the planes, in all the directions, in all the combinations. And all of a sudden, you get, it's kind of like the universal grammar where you have a noun and a verb, and it's like someone is doing something. You're like, wow, there's very limited things that you can say when you first kind of conceive of that. And then you realize, no, every single day, you are likely saying something that has never been uttered ever in the history of humankind before. So, same thing with poi. You can dance and move in so many incredible sorts of ways. So a couple driving styles that we can talk about, you know, the circle, the stall, the pendulum. There's also extensions, which are larger circles. Circles are right here. Extensions, you're going to be moving your arms, right? And then we've got isolations. So extensions, what they do is they move the center of rotation beyond where the handle is. So the handle is actually making a circle. What happens with an isolation is you move the center of rotation between the poi head and the handle. So you've got kind of this crank sort of thing going on. That's a different driving style. There's also something called linear isolation, which is kind of an isolation while everything else is moving. And it can be vertical. It can be linear. There are hybrids. You combine two different driving styles. So this is a 1.5. This is when you are combining a pendulum and a poi and a circle. And honestly, that's one of my favorite ones. They're really, I don't know, they feel like clicking your heels to me. I love them. So hybrid, that's combining two different sorts of styles. So we just combined a pendulum and a circle. We'll go into these in a later lesson. But flowers are combining two of the same driving style. A hybrid is combining two different driving styles. What we're going to learn today are spin flowers or in-spin flowers. And what that's doing is that's taking a regular circle and that's including it in with an extension. So your arm is going in a larger extension. So the whole thing, it's kind of like the planets. They're orbiting and then they're going around the sun. And you know, you imagine those galaxy 3D sort of renderings where things are going around, they're spinning around, they're doing different things. So this is an in-spin flower. And then there's also anti-spin. So that's where your circle is spinning one direction and your arm actually ends up spinning the opposite direction. So that's what we'll cover next week. This week, for spin flowers or anti-spin flowers, they are super rewarding and wonderful. So one thing I want to do before that is I taught in my turning class about turning from one wheel plane to the opposite wheel plane. I didn't talk about turning from one wall plane to another wall plane. And what I can do is I can introduce us to a certain practice technique that's going to be really, really useful later while learning something else as well. So, as we've talked about, we can break things down into smaller movements. We can do them without poi. We can do them with one poi. We can break them down into smaller movements. And one of the things that we want to do is find somewhere that we're very stable. Practice the move from one to the other. So we practiced a lot of 90-degree turns. So if I am in the wall plane and I turn to the wheel plane, that's 90 degrees. And that's not the whole turn that I'm working on, but it's a stable spot that I'm very understanding of, right? So if I do this, turn 90 degrees, then let's say I turn the other 90 degrees, where with my right hand, I'm going to be crossing over. That's going to be my final spot, okay? So I'm breaking this down, and then I try the other hand, where this might seem very similar to what we were doing with the wheel plane turns. So turn from this wall plane over 90 degrees to this wall plane. And what happens is this just comes across my body like a tick of an X, and then my body just reorients to the other. So if I want to do this with two, what I can do is do one and move to the 90 degrees, and then finish the transition with the other. And one way to really do that well is to count some beats in between. So let's say I'll have 2 beats, 1, 2, go halfway, 1, 2, go halfway, 1, 2. And then I can slowly remove beats. So I'll do it with 1 beat. 1, 1, 1. And then I'll remove the beats entirely because my body kind of has felt how to do this in stepwise learning. So let's do 1 beat one more time. So we'll do a 1, pause in the middle, then bring it over. And then we're going to do it with no beats, where we're just going to turn all the way to the other side. Sorry, and I hit myself. It's okay to make mistakes. Okay, so I'll do it kind of in this plane facing you. I'll do a 2 beat, then 1 beat. 1, 2. Okay? Let's try it one more time, but with 1 beat. 1 beat, pause, and then go to the other side. And then if you want to do it with no beats, you can turn from one wall plane to the other wall plane. It's going to happen while your poi are off to what was the side of you. It's now the front of you as you turn through the plane. Okay? So breaking things down into 90 degrees, one hand at a time, and doing beat removal is exactly how we are going to learn flowers. So in the wall plane, one hand at a time, I will show you how to, we're going to actually do this without poi even spinning first. So use one hand at a time. I'll have my poi in my hand. You might want to too. So what's going to happen is we're going to do a 4-petal spin flower. So that means this smaller circle is going to be going in the same direction as the bigger circle, okay? And we're going to have 4 cardinal points that we're going to use to kind of measure what we're doing. So you have the bottom, you have behind you. Actually, we're doing this in the wall plane. Sorry, I was in the wheel plane. So you have the bottom, then off to, this looks like your left side, it's my right side, then the top, then across, and then down. And we're going to put 3 small circles in each of those before moving to the next. So now that I start spinning my poi, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, then move to my right and say 1, 2, 3, move to the top. 1, 2, 3, move to across. 1, 2, 3, then back to the bottom. Okay? So what you're doing is you're putting a bunch of circles kind of in a spot where you're trying to burn a little muscle memory and feel what it feels like to be in those spots. So do this with 1 poi. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, top. 1, 2, 3, across. 1, 2, 3, bottom. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing that for a little bit. And what you're going to want to notice is you can count beats anywhere. But when you're doing flowers, the beat is really going to feel most dynamic when the flower is pointing in toward your center. So when you're at the bottom, it's going to be pointing in toward this. When you're at the side, it's going to be pointing in toward your body. When it's at the top, it's going to be pointing toward your feet. When it's at the other side, it's going to be pointing here. So kind of feel those beats as we go. So we're going to do 3, then 2, then 1, then no beats. So, or I guess 1 is our last. So 1, 2, 3, side. 1, 2, 3, top. 1, 2, 3, across. 1, 2, 3. Now 1, 2, move. 1, 2, top. 1, 2, cross. 1, 2, then 1, 1, 1, 1. And you are doing a one-armed wall plane flower. Doesn't really have a timing and direction because it has nothing to relate to at this point. So to give it something to relate to, we're going to use your other hand. Now keep spinning in the same direction. So for me, I'm spinning counterclockwise. For you, it looks like clockwise. Pick the same direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. And then you want to go, so this will be a cross because it's your opposite arm. So start at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, across, 1, 2, 3, top, 1, 2, 3, side, 1, 2, 3, bottom, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right? So you've done that. And unfortunately, I don't know why, but I'm not seeing any comments. I'm seeing likes and stuff come in. I don't know what exactly is going on with comments, so I hope there aren't too many questions. I will get to them at the end of class. So, and I lost my cap. There we go. So, let's do that with 2 hands. Now, before we actually start spinning the poi, let's just step through it with our arms. So we are going to be spinning, we're spinning like this. So it's going to be same time, same direction. So that is going to indicate we want our arms to go the same way. So I'm going to go over to my right, up to the top, over to my left, down to the bottom. And we're going to do that removal method at 90 degrees each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. You are doing a 4-petal, together same wall flower. And they're kind of wonderful, aren't they? And just kind of feel that as when it gets toward you, you kind of feel the everything line up really nicely as each of those little circles comes towards you. And I actually did get a comment. Yes, test comment. Thank you, Andrew. That works. Apparently the comments are coming in. Okay, so that just means everyone's actually using their poi because I see there's a bunch of you here. So that is the wall plane. We want to do the same thing to do the wheel plane, right? But we realized something about our physiology. Feels really great when you're up in front. Feels really great when you're in the bottom. To do flowers, if you're going to be extending toward the back, doesn't really work all that well. We have shoulder blades, and that prevents us when our arms are the same, when they're at the same point and behind us, when we can reach across, when we can use that wingspan. Hi, Nancy. When we can use that wingspan, our arms are very, very comfortable. When we can't use that wingspan and our arms are paired together on the sides, like this, because they're paired together always when you're in together same, it's really hard. Now you can do smaller flowers, but they're just really not that prevalent because you can't really get a strong extension on them, okay? So we're going to jump ahead to split seine, which is when we are kind of like a swimmer. So what we're going to do is let's start with our arms to the side, then up, down, arms to the side, and up, down. So this is when we are 90 degrees apart. So hold one poi with one hand, but don't spin it. And then have the other poi in your other hand, and that's the one that we're going to do some removal counting from. We'll do it one at a time. So have one poi up, and the poi on the bottom, we'll spin 1, 2, 3, and start removing. So 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, top. 1, 2, 3, forward. 1, 2, 3, bottom, 2, back, 2, top, 2, forward, 2, bottom, back, top, forward. And then you are doing the wall plane, and you are doing this forward. This is freestyle swimming. I should have been moving my other hand when we did that. Let's do that one more time. Sorry about that. So when we do this, 1, 2, 3, both arms to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're only spinning one poi. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Sorry, my counting was a little bit off there. So, because I wanted to give you the feel of keeping your arms separate while you're doing that. So let's do that with the other hand. Remember, we're spinning forward, so this is kind of like freestyle instead of backstroke. Ready? So let's keep this up top and the other hand on the bottom, and then move 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm too big for my space. There we go. Kind of got the ceiling a few times. So now that we've done that, I'm going to try to be a little bit smaller in what I'm doing. So take one low and one high and go start spinning forward, same time, same direction. And then you're just going to split your arms 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then just do one at a time. Now you might notice my rhythm seems a little bit off here. And this is where it's sometimes a little bit hard when you're doing all the counting. You're actually fitting 5 beats in here. You're doing 5 circles because you are really doing 1, 2, 3, 4 of the small circles. You're also doing one of the big circles. So every time you go, you're doing 1 circle and a quarter, and 1 circle and a quarter, and 1 circle and a quarter, 1 circle and a quarter. So, and when we do anti-spin, we're actually doing, when you're doing a 4 pedal, you're actually doing 3 circles. So a 3 pedal spin flower would be the same timing as a 5 pedal anti-spin flower. We'll get into more math later. So, they're kind of wonderful though. And, you know, just getting that feeling of when your arms are across and you feel the poi line up toward each other because you are in split time, same direction. So the poi are going to line up, kind of like when we were talking about before, almost like they're going to strike each other, like flint striking each other to start a fire. When you're doing this, you're going to feel it as they come together, and that gravity really moves together in a nice sort of way. Not the gravity, but the angular momentum just lines up. So that's pretty amazing. Let's get to, and you can actually, you can do this you can work on doing this in the wall plane a little bit. Well, actually, forward and reverse are really different. So make sure you can practice this on your own, but make sure to practice forward and reverse. Use that same method, but practice them because they're very different. It's like swimming freestyle versus swimming backstroke. So practice that as well. Split time, same direction. You can do this in the floor plane. So if you feel your poi kind of coming together, almost like they're going to hit your sides at the same time, and then just spin in the same direction. And you are your own universe. You are the sun. You've got some planets doing some interesting, crazy orbits around you. Be the solar system. It's really cool. You're actually doing split time, same direction, floor plane stuff. We have not really done any floor plane stuff, so I wanted to throw that in there for you. Together time, opposite direction. That's the butterfly. Let's do the wheel plane first. So that is, and we'll do this, you should do this one hand together. I don't want class to run too long today. But that is when you are doing a butterfly style. So one hand is going to be spinning forward and one hand is going to be spinning reverse at the same time, okay? And what's going to happen is the hand that's spinning forward is going to go toward your back, and the hand that is spinning reverse is going to go toward your forward. Then they're going to go toward the top, then they're going to go forward and back, and they're going to go to the bottom. So let's break this down one hand at a time, because that's going to be just, you can't cut with this. So have one hand spinning forward, and this one, let's just go straight to the one each. This is what you were just doing. Now the other one, with your other hand, you're going to be spinning in reverse, and that one is going to feel, so you're going to go to the bottom, then you're going to go to the front, we're going to go to the top, and we're going to go to the back. Can anyone see the video right now? I think I might have just cut out. I don't know if that is internal or not, but I'm going to just keep going. You can see? Okay. If you can see, I'm going to keep going. I can't see myself though. So we have at the bottom, you're spinning in a reverse style. 1, 2, 3. Forward. 1, 2, 3. Top. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. Bottom. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to cut it down to 2. So bottom. 1, 2. Forward. 1, 2. Top. 1, 2. Back. 1, 2. Bottom. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? So we're going to be doing that with one hand. With the other hand, so we're spinning backwards here with your left hand or your right hand, whichever it is, but your other hand spin the opposite direction, spin forward. So with the hand that's going, we're going to take this 3 at a time, and we're going to hit the cardinal directions. So I turn to face you right off the bat. I'm going to do it this way. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So with the hand that's spinning in reverse, you're going to reach to the forward. With the hand that is spinning forward, you're going to reach back. Okay? So think about that for a second. Which hand is going where? And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, arms. 1, 2, 3, top. 1, 2, 3, forward. 1, 2, 3, bottom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can see it gets a little bit hectic to kind of piece them together, but once it actually comes together, it really feels like you're like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? And then when it comes together, you're like, oh yeah, no, this feels right. Because those poi are lining up at you. So they're almost their own measures. One of the big things is making sure to hit your cardinal directions. If you are trying to do the 4-pedal, because you can fit as many as you want in here. You can just be like, hey, I'm going forever, it's a gyroscope with, 80 pedals. But it's good to be able to hit when you're trying to hit your spots. The last one is the split time opposite direction. And actually, you can do the one that we were just talking about, that is the together time opposite. So that's the butterfly. You can also do in the wall plane. Because remember, we were talking about when things are together on the sides, you can't do them in the wheel plane because of your shoulder blades. But the butterflies cross at the top and the bottom. So you can do them in the wall plane. So you can practice that on your own. You can actually come into a butterfly as one of the pedals in the center where they overlap. Remember we were talking last time about overlapping them, bringing them apart. That was the kind of advanced thing. So if you want to actually do that in the wall plane, you would come up almost like a fountain from the outside, down, and just like this fountain from the outside. Don't do it too fast in case they hit. And you can actually do a many petal flower. Is really a kind of a cool way to work into a butterfly and out of a butterfly as well. Okay? So this is together time, opposite direction, because they're at the top and the bottom at the same time. So split time, opposite direction, that's the double Dutch. And that's crossing at the sides. So that means that's not really available in the wheel plane. It's only going to be really in the wall plane, or if you want, in the floor plane. Well, those flowers aren't available in the floor plane, I don't think, because you would have to cross your body. So don't do that. Or you can try, maybe you can figure it out. So the split time, opposite direction, the double Dutch. Let's hold our hands with our poi. And let's go up and down, then choose a side where they're both going to go to, and then switch what was up and down, and then go to the other side. Right? So these are the cardinal directions. We're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And those poi are going to be awesome. I like that, Andrew. Explorations are really, really good. So what you're going to do is do it one hand at a time, because you want to make sure that your arms are going to be going in the right direction. So the way I was doing it, take the upper hand. So my right hand is to me going counterclockwise. So I'm going to take my right hand up to the top, and I'm going to push my right hand off to the left. Then I'm going to push my right hand to the bottom, then over to the right, and then to the top. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? So then I'm going to take my left hand, and I'm going to think, okay, if my right hand started on top spinning this way, my left hand is going to start on the bottom, and it's going to be spinning in a clockwise rotation, because the upper one is going to be They're going to be clockwise and counterclockwise. So then I'm going to take this out to the left, to the top, to the across, and to the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So when I'm moving them, remember, one is going to be clockwise, the other one is going to be counterclockwise, the other is going to be clockwise, one at the top and one on the bottom. And you'll see which way they're spinning toward. So you want to, if you're mirroring me, to you, your right hand is on top, going counterclockwise. Your left hand is on the bottom, going clockwise. 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3 to the top. 1, 2, 3. Right, 2, 3. 1, 2, left. 1, 2, center. 1, 2, right. 1, 2. Boom, 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 boom. And then this is your, mine's a little messy right now, but these are split time, opposite direction, wall playing flowers. Now, one of the really cool things is, like I mentioned before, you can put however many beats that you want on them. So something that I really like to do, if I'm doing this, I like to take these and put beats on them out at the sides and skip the middle. Or sometimes I like to put beats on the top. Let's see, this is going out of that. Put beats on the top and then skip the bottom. So if you want to do that, you can build that up yourself. This class is going a little bit long, but you can build that up yourself. And how you would do that is you would build it up at the top, go 1, 2, 3, bottom, 1, 2, 3, top, 1, 2, bottom, 1, 2. Because remember, you're just placing circles on a larger circle. So it's kind of like building a train track, being like, I want a roundabout here, I want a roundabout there. So if you put roundabouts just at the top and the bottom, then you can, let's see, you can go like that. Just put the roundabouts at the top and the bottom. Or you can put the roundabouts at the side when they're overlapping. But in this timing, those crosses are always going to be at the side. Okay? Sometimes that is a brain twist to go through all those, especially with the rhythms that are going. But try everything, play with everything. Try doing a little bit of turning. We're doing those wall playing turns at the beginning. Remember, I was saying, we can do, together same in one wall, and I'll turn this way. So let's say we're doing together same. That same turn that we did in that warm-up is how you turn from wall playing flowers and together same over to the other direction. And then you're going in what is, to you, a reverse. To the crowd, everything looks exactly the same. The poi are moving in the same direction. But you turn around, and to you, you're thinking, wait, it was clockwise, now it's counterclockwise, and now it's clockwise again. So that's where these turns really come into place. That was a ton of content. I hope if you guys have any questions that you feel free to ask me at any time. If you are in the Facebook group, drop a video of yourself in one of the comment threads if you have a question about stuff. Next week, we're going to do the opposite. Instead of spin flowers where they move the same 2 circles, we're going to do those anti-spins. Those are super fun too. So practice, 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 move, think about it for a while, and go enjoy yourself. Most of all, don't feel like you have to get it right. You've got the grounding where you can go back, you can ask me, you can figure it out yourself. You don't always have to have it right. Move with it, practice with it, know what you're going for, but just enjoy yourself. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, everyone. And I will talk to you later. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.